I'd like to tell you another story, this time about how lucky I was to meet an Ellington great of the 1940 band, and it was Barney Bigard, and I met him in the 331 Club when I was going to watch Thach just about every night. And so one night, this guy walks in and sits down by me at my usual spot at the bar near the door. And I recognize that it's Barney Bigard, and I say, oh my goodness, I'm sitting down by the guy that wrote Moved Indigo and played all those wonderful solos. Well, I introduced myself, and he acknowledges that he is one and the same. And we talked for quite a long while about, of course, the music. I tell him how much I like it, and we talked about individual songs, things of that sort. And towards the end of the time, just before closing time, Nat Cole, who was an amazing guy, he would watch people from the stand, and I saw that he had nodded to Barney, and no big deal, no flamboyant thing, just nodded, acknowledging that he was there. And then he played, for the last piece, he played Rose Room. Now, I wasn't aware at the time that Rose Room was a feature of Bigard over the period starting in the early 30s, and then later Bigard, after he left Ellington, he would play Rose Room quite a lot. So Nat acknowledged that, and then it's time to leave. And so I say, well, I've got to walk over to Wilshire Boulevard and catch my bus back down to town. As I mentioned earlier, I think the Nat Cole thing. 331 Club was about 2 blocks west of Wilshire, and you had to walk through the Ambassador Hotel, the Coconut Grove. And so we walk over there, and I'm, again, flabbergasted that he would want to do that. But we're talking, we're into it. And I must tell you that some of the stories you've heard about Bigard saying that he liked the clarinet playing of Artie Shaw, that's a true story. He told me that he preferred Artie Shaw to Betty Goodman, but that Jimmy Noon was his favorite clarinet player. Now, we let several buses go by, and legend tends to exaggerate, but I believe that we spent at least 2 hours over there. I like to tell the story, maybe it's 3, but let's say 2. And the fascinating thing to me over the rest of my life was that as he talked about things other than music, he used some words which I had heard but I was not familiar with, and they were paradox, ambiguity, and irony. And as he talked about things in his life, he'd say that was a paradoxical situation, or that was replete with ambiguity. Well, as I spent the rest of my life, I learned those words, and I do believe that if you understand those words, you cannot be an extremist. You have to recognize the two sides to things. And so I got an education from a great clarinet player. I thought he was a wise old man, but it turns out he was only 37 at the time.